Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and welcome back to our Commander Spotlight series. Oath of the Gatewatch just came out and we got a new batch of shiny commanders to try out in our decks. Despite being a small set, Oath brings us 7 new legendary creatures in various strategies. Let's see which ones belong in R99 and if any are worthy of building around. If you enjoy these commander videos and want more, there's a little thumbs up button right down there. Just, give it a boop. Linvala returns from Rise of the Eldrazi, making her first appearance as the Preserver. She has gotten bigger since then, now a 5/5 for 6 mana. Linvala is not locking down activated abilities this time around either, acting more like a legendary Thragtusk. As long as one opponent has more life than you when she hits play, you'll gain 5. Same with creatures, if someone has more than you get a 3/3 Angel token, like a beefed up Timely Reinforcements. Does Linvala make a good commander? She is big enough to carry the load on her own, and the life/creatures will always keep you in the game. White is kind of a weak color, and you probably need more than just a conditional Thragtusk as your commander. The biggest disadvantage is that she does nothing when you're ahead. Linvala does merit consideration in your Rune deck. With 3 opponents, there is a good possibility that she will get you a bunch of life, angel tokens, or both. The best part about this card is that it makes 3/3 white angel tokens, a first in Magic history, yeah. One card made 3/3 Black Angels, but that's totally different. Stock up on Linvala tokens, they're super cool. Kalidas also returns from the original Zendikar block, but this time the dude is a traitor. He pulled the opposite of Linvala, shrinking down from a 5/5 for 7 to a 3/4 with lifelink for 4. He has an interesting ability that causes your opponents to exile their creatures when they die. Also, you get a 2/2 zombie token each time that happens. For 3 mana, you can sack another vampire or zombie to put 2+1/+1 counters on Kalidas. The card is useful for the graveyard hate alone, along with the bonus of getting the zombies. Casting a Wrath with Kalidas on board exiles all your opponent's creatures while giving you a fresh batch of zombies to pound in with. After all, if Kalidas dies at the same time as creatures your opponents control, those creature cards will be exiled and you'll get that many zombies. While the bottom ability isn't great, cards like Crypt of Agadeem, Cabal Coffers, and Black Market exist, so you'll be able to get enough mana to grow Kalidas. The exile effect alone makes Kalidas worth trying as a hate card, or just to make your sweepers a little better. Kalidas will more than likely go into your vampire deck or inspire you enough to make a vampire or zombie tribal strategy. Kozilek also makes his return and is the strongest of the 3 returning commanders in the set. For 8 and 2 colorless, you get a 12/12 menace in case you were really worried about chump blocks. When you cast Kozilek, if you have less than 7 cards in your hand, you draw up to 7. Seeing how your hand is likely not going to have 7 cards in it when you cast Kozilek, this is pretty sick and sometimes better than the original. Once you have all those cards, what can you do? Discard them to counter spells. As long as you have a spell in your hand with the same cost, you can pitch it to Kozilek to counter something. You are pretty much putting this in your colorless deck. Pick a legendary Eldrazi and play it, it doesn't matter. You are playing all 4 regardless. Play a bunch of mana rocks and 4 Eldrazi legends. That was easy. Aili Eternal Pilgrim is a new commander and the cheapest one in Oath. A 2/3 Death Touch for 2 mana is pretty solid for a cheap creature. You can pay 1 mana and sack a creature to gain life equal to the creature's toughness. If you have at least 10 more life than you started with, you can pay 3 and sacrifice another creature to exile a non-land permanent. Think of Aili as a poor man's Teysa with a stronger, more mana-intensive ability. Getting to 50 life is pretty easy in Commander. Beacon of Immortality or Serra Ascendant can get you there pretty quickly. Since you need creatures, let's start out with Soul's Attendant and Soul Warden. Now you're both gaining life and getting the creatures to exile permanents. Once you hit 50, now you can turn 3 mana and your worst creature into a better Vindicate. If you don't think you need the Soul Sisters route or just hate life gain cards in general, there are plenty of creatures in both colors to sacrifice and get back later for extra value. From simple cards like Shriekmaw or Stonecloaker to bigger threats like Sun Titan, it won't be difficult to get value off of Aili and the rest of your team. While token creatures won't gain you much life, they will give you fodder for the bottom ability. Secure the Ways, Cloudgoat Ranger, and Spectral Procession can make a lot of Vindicates. If you want to be really bad, you can play high toughness creatures like Indomitable Ancients just to get to 50 as fast as you can, and annoy players with giant blockers. It may just go into the Teysa or Aloro deck. The effect is pretty powerful once it's active. Do what feels right. Jorian Ruin Diver is another new commander who gets the game day treatment as the top 8 promo and is effectively the Surge commander. A 2/3 for 3 mana, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you draw a card. Storming to 2 is not too difficult of a task, and the card draw helps you prolong turns and dig through your deck. Or if you're creative enough, you can build a deck that casts 2 spells on every turn. Durian could make an interesting commander, but the effect probably isn't strong enough since you just get 1 at most per turn, and casting 2 spells is a lot to do per turn. Sure, there are free spells like Palinchron and Treachery, or buyback spells like Capsize, but casting 4 to 8 spells every time around the table is going to be tough. No one has the mana for that. If you're going to try though, might as well put in some Surge cards while you're at it. Crush of Tentacles and Fall of the Titans are pretty solid. The rest, not so much. Also, don't play Bonesaw, please. Way better Surge enablers in Commander, like Skull Clamp or Sol Ring, or anything but Bonesaw. You know, another legend that got the game day treatment was Melik Izzet Paragon. Maybe you should throw Jorian in there. Mina and Den Wildborn is a 4/4 for 4 mana that allows you to play an extra land on each of your turns. You can also pay a red and a green and return a land to your hand to give a creature trample until end of turn. Congratulations, people who wanted worse, Legendary Oracle of Moldiah. You finally got your wish. There are other uses for this card aside from being Oracle copy number 2 in red-green decks. Multiple landfall triggers for Seer Sundial or Rampaging Balos is never a bad thing. Getting extra value off of lands like Colony Garden or resetting Mosswort Bridge is never a bad thing either. It's just, this is not the most interesting card to make as your commander, and definitely isn't better than Azusa. There is one deck that will use this card. Borborygmos Enraged would love Mina and Den to sweep up lands to bolt people. Finally, we're at the point you have all been waiting for. Ever since allies were first spoiled, you have wanted a commander and one in all 5 colors. Too bad Wizards tricked you and made it white. Just kidding, 5 color activation cost. General Tazri is a 3/4 for 5 mana that lets you tutor up an ally when it hits the battlefield. 2 allies are pretty sweet and allows you to get the best one left in your deck. For 1 of each color, you can give allies +X/+X, where X is the number of colors among them. Now, some help on building allies. Really, you need help on how to build this deck? Come on, it's just bad slivers. Take all your allies and throw them in. Get a bunch of duels or tri-lands and play Chromatic Lantern and Prismatic Omen. You can play like Living Death or Primal Surge or Twilight's Call, then put them all onto the battlefield at the same time and win, maybe. Did they print enough of them yet to actually do that? Just kidding. Chasm Guide and Tajuru Warcaller should be enough. Or Colostria Healer, or Halimar Excavator if you're desperate. Whatever, I don't care. Just have fun with your allies, I guess, or something. I don't know. We hope you enjoyed our Oath of the Gatewatch Commander Spotlight. Let me know in the comments which decks you're building with the Oath Legendaries. Where are you putting them? Gotta know. Personally, loving me some Ilie Eternal Pilgrim. She knows what's up. Again, leave all your thoughts below. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This video is sponsored by TCGplayer.com. Want Oath of the Gatewatch legendary creatures? Of course you do. Want them in foil? Even better. Foil General Tazri is less than $6 right now on TCG Player. Ilie Eternal Pilgrim, my favorite Oath of the Gatewatch commander, $7 in foil right now. Click the links in the video to bring you right to the page where you can order them and you help out the channel. Bling bling.
What?